Dear students, now let us try to understand the significance of international business. The significance includes the economic environment has a greater impact on investment decisions, customer spending, business profitability, and expansion and growth strategy. So, the significance of international business lies in taking investment decisions or making various types of investment decisions, because today we can see the different countries they are going for an agreement or treaty for various types of businesses like exports or imports or the various transactions based on the availability of resources, or maybe based on the demand that is being created, or based on the need and requirement. So that has to be met. So that has an influence on investment decisions, and the government will take a call on the investments, or maybe the companies will come forward based on the support that is being given by the government in terms of the policies, trade policies. So that is why the investment decisions are very important. So that is decided based on the environment that is being created in the country, and the consumer spending. The again this point is very important. Why? Because the type of customer or the nature of customer is very important in deciding any business. Say for example, we take the Asian countries. We are rich in means various types of agricultural commodities, because we grow different types of agricultural produces, and that is being today exported to different countries. Say for example, you take rice or wheat or jowar, the grains that usually we grow. In turn, we are importing various the other resources like various goods, maybe the various technological devices or automobile spare parts or the medicines, all such things. So that depends on consumer spending. So today we could see in different types of market like hypermarkets or malls, we see all types of international brands. They are made available. Say for example, you take sportswear or shoes. Today, the major, the leading companies, they have their role, or they have their the sales or the business in mainly the Asian countries. So that decides the consumer spending, because if we take India, we Indians prefer, or we prefer to buy the international brands than the domestic product. So that is why that is the spending by consumers are very important, and business profitability, then expansion and growth strategies. How the country is supportive for the uh, business. For example, today we are importing various types of fruits. Maybe you take the dragon fruit or kiwi fruit, or maybe the dates that usually we import from the Arabian countries, because it has a huge market in Asian countries, preferably in India. And again, the dry fruits and all, the consumption is more in Asian countries than in any other countries. So that is why that such businesses, no, such businesses mainly depend on the consumption in various countries in order to expand and to see a growth in any part of the country. So that includes. So for this, we need different types of techniques in order to scan the environment. Means to start with any international business, as already been told, we have to scan the environment. So that usually we do by using various techniques. The techniques includes the first one, SWOT analysis, and the second one is special analysis. Again, SWOT analysis means it is identifying strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Special analysis is analyzing Again, the macroeconomic parameters, that is political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Coming to the first one, economic environment of business. The significance of this lies in influencing business operations and profitability, because that is nothing but the demand and supply that is happening in a particular country that decides the economic environment, because economic environment mainly depends on the demand and supply. So when the demand is equal to supply of a commodity, then we can say we have a congenial environment. So definitely that will contribute to greater income, maybe the national income or the personal income. Again, it has an influence on the GDP, that is growth of the GDP. Again, that we consider for the expansion or growth of business in a country. And the second one is economic policies, that is the favorable economical policies towards business is very important, so that very much affect on business decisions and strategies. Now let us try to understand what are the different elements of economy. Economic systems like capitalism, socialism, and mixed economies means what type of economic system we have in a particular place is very important. Usually in India, we have mixed economies, so that is, it is neither capitalism or socialism. It is a mix of that, where capitalism meets with the socialism, that is the values, culture, and beliefs of the people decides the capitalism, that is investment on business. So that is why it is called as mixed economy. And economic indicators like GDP, inflation, interest rates, and employment rates are very important. So what is the GDP, what is the rate of inflation, and the existing interest rates, both with respect to fiscal policy and monetary policy is very important, and where such economic policies includes fiscal policy, monetary policy, business policy, industrial policy, and trade policies. Then coming to the third one, that is inflation and deflation. How often the country is facing inflation or deflation? So that is mainly depending on the demand and supply that is being created at a particular point of time in a country. Then interest rates, then GDP growth, then unemployment rate, then foreign exchange rate. So these are the different elements of the economy. Now let us try to understand how uh, India is in terms of international business, where we see Indian environment or India's environment as emerging economy. The reason is because of the characteristic features like rapid economic growth, increasing the GDP and economic activity. Then the second point is globalization, that is integrating with global economy, where India is considered as an emerging market due to rapid GDP growth. So that is very much evident from 2020 onwards, that is aftermath of COVID-19. So where India could overcome the barriers or the constraints what we had during COVID or before COVID, and it could prove itself because of various the policies or support that is being extended by the government in terms of various policies like Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is again promoting various indigenous businesses through schemes like Vocal for Local or Make in India concept, Skill India, Stand Up India, then Startup India. More the support has been given to the youths in order to start business, so that we can overcome the unemployment problems and expanding middle class. Because in India, if you take India as a market, here we could see more of the 65% of the class of people are middle class people, where they are the majority, they are the consumers for most of the businesses. And again, because of increased FDI and developing infrastructure and growing tech sector, so that is been prevalent in India. So all these are contributing towards the emerging economy for India. So that is why India is considered as an emerging economy. So here we can see the statistics says that the percentage of the survey results shows that most of the percentage of people, that is, suppose if we classify the people as upper class people, upper middle class, lower, and below that lower class, then majority they fall under between 50 to 60, that is middle to upper middle class. So where they are contributing towards the growth of the country. This is based on the standards and the business type of business we are carrying out in India.